So hello, my name is Glenn Gonzalez. I'm CTO for SAP Germany. Well, let's have a look at machine learning, but at machine learning in the context of an enterprise. This may give you a different perspective on the topic of machine learning. Machine learning is already there. Sometimes maybe you haven't really recognized that it's already there, and this technology has changed drastically expectations. So what do I mean with expectations? For me, if you talk about digital changes within our environment, it's all about the expectations of the people. So, and it doesn't matter how old you are, where you're from, or what you do, or what job you have, the expectations of everybody have changed due to technologies that kicked in, mainly also via mobile devices, or some things that are happening somehow magically in the background. So, but expectations is interesting to understand is a one-way street. As soon as somebody has some kind of expectations towards what's happening around him, he is not really happy if this level of service he gets goes down. So as soon as you have a certain kind of expectation, it's a one-way street, and nobody wants to have something that is not meeting these expectations. So for many companies, it maybe feels like this. Wouldn't it be good if you had some kind of formula which would help you to understand what you could do to meet the expectations of our customers or the people we're talking to? Could it be some kind of formula like this? I know everybody should know what kind of formula this is, but in an ideal world, everybody of us would actually get the same conclusion if we start calculating this. But there's also a formula which you can use for digital transformation or the expectations that have changed I was talking about. And it's called simplicity causes emotion, and emotion causes adoption. This is a formula where very big companies that are in the enterprise segment of maybe mobility use to meet the expectation of their users. Because only if you get a positive emotion by using something, somebody will use it again and not throw it away or delete it. And if you have a good adoption, this causes expectations. And what are these kind of expectations I'm talking about? Maybe you've seen them, they are around you all the time. But the pace of speed where these expectations are changing is getting faster and faster. And just to name some of them, our expectations are that it has to be mobile all the time. That I can get my information anytime, anywhere, no matter where I am. I don't want to ask for information. If I want the information, I get it straight away. And things have to be personalized, and I want to have it the next day, etc., etc., etc. But what is all behind these kind of expectations? Well, important is that it's not only the expectations of the young people spending maybe most of their life on their smartphone. It's the expectations of everybody around us, as I mentioned earlier. It's the expectations of the customers of companies. It's the expectations of the employees of companies. There's no real difference. The only difference is that in many, many enterprise segments, you will not see that these expectations are met. Interesting. For SAP, the foundation to meet these expectations is an intelligent enterprise. A company that is able to meet these expectations needs to fulfill certain criteria that I'm now telling you about. So first of all, you have to think in an end-to-end process view. It doesn't really matter or makes no sense if you have a good UI and everybody likes it, but if you press the button and it takes 5 to 6 seconds until something happens, the whole thing will not be adopted. Someone will delete the app. So that's why you have to understand that an end-to-end process is important. If you press a button, things have to happen straight away. And behind this, there can be quite a lot of software happening. Then artificial intelligence, machine learning, kicks in. So this causes and is an enabler to make these end-to-end processes smarter, to then give you the possibility to find a real-time control and real-time analytic for your company. All of this causes massively data. We call this operational data. It's masses of data. And as you may know, for machine learning, you need masses of data. And on top of this, there's a new kind of data kicking in, which we call experience data. Also, masses of data, knowing how people feel, what their opinion is about things. So really see if you meet expectations. These two huge amounts of massive of data enables you to apply machine learning. So if you look at these end-to-end processes, I just brought a few of them for you, is if you look like, let's say, designed to operate, yeah? Which means basically that if you design something and you want to have it in operation later on, you always have to think this end to end, because if someone uses this and gives you a feedback on it, the developer of this thing should know about this. You have to think end to end. And if you do this, then you can start applying machine learning technologies into the process. And this is where really magical things can happen. So it's about bringing the algorithm into an end-to-end process. So what will happen then? Well, you remember that you have to fulfill or fill in lots of UIs, give him a lot of data. Somebody working on the UI has to make decisions, has to look up some things. If you have machine learning in the background, a lot of these UIs will just simplify or will just disappear. Because in the background, an algorithm will automatically, driven by machine learning, fulfill the whole process. And this is where really drastically things are happening. And this then will enable a real-time control and real-time analytics with enabled deciders to make decisions when they have to be made and not if it gets too late. For SAP, this is an intelligent enterprise, and this intelligent enterprise is enabled by machine learning, and maybe this gives you a new perspective on how you can apply machine learning technologies in an enterprise context. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Glenn Gonzalez, CTO of SAP Germany. Goodbye.